Okay, greetings and welcome to NinjaTrader 8 Strategy Builder Video 12. I am John Moss with J2 AlgoTrader. Right off the bat, let me make some announcements. We have had a ton going on. For starters, sorry it did take me longer to get these videos out, but we have been slam silly. If you don't know already, we're available for strategy builds if you need help. Find that on the website. You just go through the menu and you'll find programming help, and we cover that in a variety of ways. Just go to the website and click on the Build Assistance, and we cover everything that we do in light detail. And in the immediate moment while I'm thinking about it, let me apologize. I had these comments coming in on the YouTube channel, and thank you very much. There's a lot of really nice stuff that comes in, but also sometimes you have some questions. And what happens is you click on that little notification button. Matter of fact, I'll just go there. So here, I come into my channel, and that little notification bell, there'll be a number up there. The thing is, though, you click on it, there could be several comments, and then I'll go back. As soon as I answer one, I go back, and then you can't figure out where it is because the comments coming off of different videos. Where I'm going with this is, if you don't get a response to a question, send me an email, info@j2algotrader.com. Because I'm definitely not ignoring you, but I just feel so rude, man, when I didn't see a message and somebody has a question doesn't get answered. I mean, yeah, we're busy, but still, I have time to answer your questions. I'll definitely get back with you. Also, I've mentioned before, correspondence comes in from around the world, and as time has gone on, this has been about 1 year or so that I've had this thing going, and everything has been growing organically. People that I've corresponded with kind of gradually just orchestrated itself into almost a daily thing. And we ended up starting a Discord room, and, nobody's on the payroll to run it, and that turned into kind of a job. That went on for a couple of months or so. We went ahead and we still have the room, but we're not activating it for public use yet. And if that changes, we'll let you know. All right, now the next thing on the list, 30-minute bars are important. And in saying that, really I'm sharing that with newer traders. People who've been at this for a while know that they carry a lot of value in their own way. The 30-minute bars can really help you get a good idea based on their price behavior when the bars close of a potential reversal or continuance. So I created an indicator looking for price action like this. See, for example, we have these two bars right here, and we had discovery coming up here, and then we have a new bar. We have a little bit more discovery, probably played around there a little bit, but we have less. Came down, made a big run down, and when that happened, it fired that arrow right there, and you can see what happened. What we're discovering is that even when they're wrong, there's still a little bit of activity typically going in that direction. Point being that if you were, for example, using them to trigger a trade directly, there's still some price travel in that direction. Let's expand this out, show you what I'm talking about. So I'm going to roll through this for a second just so you can kind of see. I did put together a strategy for it, which I'll get into in a minute. But right now we're looking for the red and green arrows. Now, of course, all this month it's been a short market predominantly. So what I'm seeing here, for example, is not surprising. Now check this out. This one's going up, okay? It was wrong. It came back down and went down again, right? But look, you still had a solid 5 points of price discovery that made it in that direction. So in summary, in building out this indicator, what we were looking at is the price action, but also we took a look at the cumulative delta, added one other component for time considerations. And its level of accuracy, frankly, even surprised me. Now this is what I wanted to see right here. I mean, I'm having to hunt for when this thing is wrong, which is kind of cool. But wrong here, boom, price discovery. Wrong here. And, I mean, wrong in that moment, right, eventually, but still. What we're looking for is what happened after the candle. But again, its level of accuracy is so high, scenarios like this don't really hurt that much. So again, as you can see here, it's kind of floating around in here, but still, spend a full hour, going up another 5 points, bounce back down in the next hour, and then this hour right here, back up, down here, didn't quite follow through, but again, price discovery. And where I'm going with that is that this indicator is a fabulously supportive tool for either scalping or trend condition plays. And it's especially nice when it goes off and you're in the middle of a trade and it's going off in your favor. And as a reminder, this indicator is exclusively for a 30-minute chart. I mean, technically, you can put it on any kind of chart you want. It would most likely be useless. It is designed for 30-minute candles. And what I did here, I'm very fond of proving what the premium stuff that we produce can do, especially like proving it on your computer where you get the same result. So I built a strategy specifically to be run on a 30-minute chart just to test it out. So I've got 45 days loaded here. Strategy's already loaded, so let's check out its real-time and historic performance. Coming over here in the last 45 days is 75%. I tested out various time frames, and the numbers that I got were anywhere from a low right around 62, 64%. The highest I got was about 84%. That is a phenomenal number. So just the strategy itself is a cool tool to have. And when I pull stunts like that, one thing I am very fond of doing, as you know from my other videos, is I want equal risk, equal reward in order, 50-50 in order to prove something out. So you see those results right there were based on a 40-tick target and stop. So needless to say, I was quite pleased with those results. So if you want it, you know where to find it. Okay, so let me get into the market alerts and the volume profile systems. Now, I've got a bunch of stuff on here for a reason, because we are paying close attention to a lot of lines in the sand sort of thing. This is something that you'll see in the next video, 13. There's a variety of indicators that are in play on this chart, and that is to accommodate the different types of traders that we have deploying various systems. And as always, the volume profile is the key player. And regarding the market alerts indicator set, for those of you who have it, your updates are free forever. So I have made at least 5 total. I tend to reach out to people, and sometimes I don't get responses, so I'm just making it here. Send me an email, and I'll send you the update. Now, in the original version, I'd left it all inside Strategy Builder. Let me pull that up real quick. And one thing about Strategy Builder, you could only make the user interface so nice and neat because you had all this stuff, and I could come back and change the order, but that is a huge hassle. And I have also, at this juncture, have created a coded version with a much more user-friendly interface, which I'll show you here in a minute. But at any immediate moment, I came along and added some new sets, because in the original version, I have the system taking trades every time one of the market alerts signals would fire. And, again, that was to prove the efficacy of this system. I do encourage people to create their own entry sets, because in doing so, you are creating independently created targets, stops, and conditional entry statements. There's a purpose in that. So for demonstration purposes here, what I'm running, we have all the usual sets that you've seen in the other videos that I've done on this, specifically 10 and 11. But now we got some new ones. So I came along and added some simple statements. Uptrend long is just a series of SMA arguments, and downtrend short is the same thing. I've kept them deliberately simple to show you the power of what the market alert system can do. Now, this is the Strategy Builder version, and it's going to stay in the format in which it was first built. I've got all these turned off. And in the update that I have with the indicator set, we have this user interface. And I've got important stuff up in here. We're going to talk about all of this. Now, again, the Strategy Builder version is the exact same thing as this one, except that this has a different user interface. But right here, let's start with this. I talked about these in the other videos, but I want to get specific about them. Resistance rotation barriers and support rotation barriers. Now, what these specifically are. You got your industry pundits out there that are calling upper limits of upper rotation on price and lower. What we're really talking about is they'll be looking at, let's say, last week's high or last month's low, or just things like that. There are reasons why price can be expected to falter at certain points. Doesn't mean it always happens. It most certainly doesn't, but you'll definitely see price typically get to these strong rotation points, and it will hover. It may keep going, but if it does, what I've done is make an optional right here with this update, allow post-barrier entries, so you can have it stop making entries at those upper or lower rotation barriers, or you can allow it. Those we would definitely consider higher risk, and so we also have another option down here to use an SMA3 escape, and all that means is, let's say you got an entry that has gone past, say for example, the upper rotation barrier. If this box is checked right here, it'll allow that entry, and it will keep the trade as long as SMA3 is making its way up. The moment it turns south, boom, you're out. Now, this one has all the features of the original system. It has a new one now, the trend entry systems. I'm going to show you that in a minute. I've also expanded quite a bit on the hidden profit and hidden stop systems. And in summary, all of the improvements that I have done have radically improved its performance. And specifically on short markets, I've made no secret that I hate short markets. And this thing has just done incredibly well. All right, so with the additions, let's just come along and see how it did. Now, this is the December contract. Arguably, this has been a pretty rough market here coming through October especially. And still, we got a total net of 14,725. We did 60% profitable altogether. Max drawdown 1262. I'm not unhappy with these numbers. In a short market, I have never built anything that has had this kind of performance. So if we go back and take a look at what we did, I mean, take a look. This is nothing but simple SMAs. And we've utilized our variable systems. Now, again, I've talked about the variables. But that's kind of the key to the whole thing. Any additional sets, you can take this base strategy and add conditional sets to it, just like we did here, okay? Look how simple this is. Gang, the key to this whole thing is the use of the variable systems here. Uptrend equal true. Okay, let's go back and revisit that. These are all the conditions here coming off the market alert system. And that system has its own conditions, and it puts off these NinjaScript numbers here. So we've got 5 potential conditions that can set this variable to true. Once that variable equals true, that now allows this conditional group to fire when all the other conditions are met. It just goes to show you the power of the market alert system. If you've got any kind of strategy that has worked at least reasonably well for you and you plug in this variable system to get behind it, I'm to a point now that in-house we've already proved it too many times. You will see a substantial increase in performance. And if you don't, you call me. You know, lastly, in the last 3 videos, which includes this one, I've been on my soapbox about the volume profile and the market alerts and all that. This will be the last time that I do that. I think I've made it clear enough that the system works, and going forward I'll be focusing on a lot of the questions that have been asked in the channel and through emails. So we'll get back to playing with the tools inside Strategy Builder. That's pretty much it for this one. I'm going to keep this one short. As I mentioned earlier, we'll be plugging in the trend bias. We'll use that in support of some entry statements. Also, I'm going to set up my charts for you. I've had many a time people have asked what things that I'm looking at, and so we're going to set all that up for you. And I think you'll find that quite interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, until next.